Hey guys, Steve Harris here with MuseThemes.com. Today we're looking at SuperHero, which is a widget that allows you to take control of your hero images on your site. So if you don't know what a hero image is, basically when you land on a website and you see kind of a full width and ideally full height image, which then simply scrolls away as you scroll down the site, that would be called a hero image, or some users would call that a masthead. There's lots of different names. The tough part about creating a hero image in Muse is although you can do full width, it's really challenging to get it to be full height. So taking up the full height of the browser and ensuring that full height displays properly on different device sizes. So you can just kind of guess on a height on an image, but the problem is if you scale the browser down, often the image is no longer the right height once it scales. So that's what SuperHero allows you to do. You'll notice that if I shrink the browser down here like this, so this would be how somebody would land on the site. When I scroll down, that hero image is right tight against the bottom. It's taking up the full screen. And no matter what the size of my browser window here, you can see that that hero continues to be just perfect 100% height. So setting up SuperHero is really easy. It uses state buttons, as we've talked about in the past. And although our widget will include some sample state buttons for you to use, I'm going to set them up from scratch in this video so you can see how it's done. So let's jump into Muse. I've got a brand new site here with no custom settings at all. It's just a basic site. And the first thing we're going to do is let's drag out SuperHero onto the page. So when you drag it out, you can see there's really not that much to it. It's one widget controller and a really small panel. So let's go ahead and get the base of this widget set up. So the first thing you'll notice when you look at the panel is it says Hero Image Graphics Style. So this is the style or graphic style of the big main hero image. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a sec. And what we'll need to do is go to our widget library panel, and underneath the buttons folder, we're going to grab state buttons. So let's grab 1 and 2 for now. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do with my state buttons is I'm going to right click on it or control click. I'm going to clear all the styling. And I'm going to clear all the contents too. So now I just get basically this empty container frame. So for this one, it's going to be our main hero image. So I'm going to just scale this up so it touches the right left sides of the browser. Be careful when you're working with state buttons because they can kind of swallow up each other. So if I drag this one into this one, they become one actually. So I'm keeping them separate on purpose for now. So for this first state button I created, I'm going to create a graphic style for it. And let's name that style hero, just like that. Okay. For the next state button that I have here, I'm going to do the same thing initially. I'm just going to clear all the styling and clear the contents. And you know, to make this a little easier, let me just add some fills in. So that one's gray, and I'll make this one black. This one's going to be for our child content. So things like text or buttons, anything like that. Okay, so now that we've got this second one here, I'm going to give that a graphic style name as well. And let's call this one child. And okay. Perfect. So these two areas represent your content. So you can put anything you want in either of these boxes. State buttons will allow you to put text or images or whatever you want in there. So now in our SuperHero widget panel, and I'll drag this up so that we can see it a little better. Let's open up the panel and look at the settings. So initially we have our hero image graphics style. Well, we set it to hero. By default, it's named hero, so that's perfect. Next, we have our child panel set up. So we're going to enable the child panel. And it says, what's the graphic style name of your child panel? Well, we called it child, so that's perfect. And next, it just has positioning controls. So basically, where do you want that child panel to appear when the browser loads? And we've got everything from top left, middle right, all the way down to bottom right. So we have a bunch of settings in there, but you can also control some specific padding if you want. So if you set it to middle, we have the ability to control the top and bottom padding. For now, I'm just going to leave it set at middle, and that's it. The last thing that I need to do before I preview this is I need to combine these two blocks. And we need to make sure that they are both touching the very top of the site. So basically, I like to check the Y coordinates here and make sure it's at 0. So the back one's at 0, the child panel's at 0, and I think we're good to go. You don't really need to care about where you put this child panel within this block. It can be over here on the top left or top right. The widget itself is going to move that around. You just need to make sure they're combined and that they're at the very top of the site. Okay, I'm just going to add a little space below this so we have some room to scroll when we preview, and let's see how this looks. Okay, So when we preview in the browser, and as you can see when I preview, the hero area, which is the gray background, is taking up the full screen, and the child content is sitting perfectly in the middle. And when I scroll down, we've got the rest of the site below. So no matter what my browser size or resolution is, it can be something small like this. If I reload this page, you can see that when I scroll down, our content below the fold starts right away. So it's a really powerful widget. So the next thing I'm going to do here is just add some content into these areas. So to make it a little easier, I'm going to pull my child panel state button out of the main hero and just leave it below so we can work with it a little easier. And now you could go ahead and add in fill to this. So let's click on add image in fill and select something like this. Okay. And we add it there, and we can change the scaling. So something like that. And now within our child panel, I'm going to delete out the black background there, and you could just go ahead and create some text boxes within. So let's do that, and we'll go SuperHero. And then of course style up the text. I won't do anything crazy here. We'll just pick a font, something a little better. Let's just go with Proxima, and we'll center it. Okay, I'm gonna make the text white. Maybe let's stick with black. I don't know what's gonna show up best on that image up there. Okay, and then one thing you just need to remember to do before you preview is to make sure that you do drag the full state button for the child panel back up onto the hero image state button and align them at the top. And then of course you could change the alignment settings here of the child panel. So let's go, we want it to be in the bottom right. I don't know if this black text is going to show up very well on that image, but let's preview it and see. So probably we want to change our text to be something different, or add a background in there, but just to show you an example of how you add content into those areas. So you can see how SuperHero makes working with these full screen hero images a lot easier and a lot better for your user experience on your site. Thanks again for watching this demo, and best of luck working with this widget. Cheers.